Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week we take a look at Indonesia's national team shake-up as they look towards a youthful future. And we round up the best of this year's Sudirman Cup. 8-time All-England men's singles champion Rudy Hartono. Olympics' first ever badminton gold medalists Alan Budikusuma and Susi Susanti. Men's doubles winners at the Sydney Summer Games, Chandra Wijaya. They are just some of the few who have written themselves into Indonesia's glorious badminton history, a legacy that has spanned over 50 years. But whilst there have been some notable moments in recent times, the dominance the nation once held in the sport no longer exists. Keen to re-establish and sustain their winning tradition, the National Association for Badminton (PBSI) has directed its efforts towards developing the youth.
In the past, everyone's just focused on they all enjoy about okay, we have a champion now, but they forgot it's like the time is move on, Now is the start from this year. We focus on more, give the opportunity to the youth, to give the chance to play more tournaments, collect the point first, just to get the experience and exposure for them.
We recently visited the National Training Centre located in the capital Jakarta to find out more about the shake-up. We caught up with 1996 Atlanta Olympics men's doubles gold medalists Reksi Mayanaki and Ricky Subagja. The two Olympians have teamed up yet again, this time as the administrators responsible for shaping the nation's new future.
Tapi karena Reksi, saya bilang oke, saya siap karena Reksi juga.
I was willing to give it a go because I knew Reksi was going to be part of the team. I told them I'm fine with Reksi as the technical director at the training center, while they appoint me as the head coach here to work alongside him. Personally, I find this arrangement to be suitable.
Baiklah.
We still keep the same style of our character. Ricky's quiet and then I'm just more southern. Everything's like he found something is wrong with the coaches, or maybe it's the program is not right. He called me and then we try to discuss, and after that we call the coach and then we try to solve that problem, and then that is what how close we are now.
For Indonesian fans, they'll be hoping this renewed partnership will strike gold once again. But it will be a tough challenge. Competition in international badminton is at its toughest it's ever been. To provide quality coaching, it was decided to trim the number of players in the national squad to 66 across the 5 formats.
In national team, last year we had around 82 players, and we tried to discuss and try to think about if we want to bring the quality of players to become a world-class players, we have to think to reduce the number of the player in national team.
Pada saat saya masuk di dalam kepengurusan ini, pelatnas ini sudah berjalan atau training center ini kan sudah.
When I joined the management team, the wheels were already in motion, but we needed to be more effective. We needed to ensure that we have the best of the best. So we split them into primary and secondary groups who are made up of senior and junior players. This will help in regeneration. It can't be just all about the seniors. We have to prepare the juniors as well.
Kita harus mempersiapkan yang pemain-pemain yang junior.
The emphasis on youth has seen the old guard making way. Gone are players such as men's singles shuttlers Tommy Sugiarto and Simon Santoso. The training centre is now home to top-ranked juniors competing on the domestic circuit. Reaping rewards with this new assembly of talents may take time, but it is hoped that some will progress faster than expected.
For singles is top 16s, and then for doubles is top 8. So we call the junior master from under 17 and under 19. But for the under 21s, we only we call them to also do trial. But it's like not focus on them. We focus on under 19 and under 17s. Under 21 is only someone is really special. We need maximum 3 years. But maybe, let's say, if we put 10 of youth players, we said, okay, in 3 years we will see the results. But maybe from 10, maybe 3, we can go maybe on 1 year, 2 years, we can already see that they're going very fast.
While change has been refreshing, there were some teething problems initially. In 2013, when Rexy and Ricky were appointed, Rexy especially wanted to hit the ground running, but his hands-on approach didn't please his new charges. They have had to fine-tune their methods, allowing clearer communication and greater flexibility for the coaches.
The coaches really try to they don't want to work together with me because I'm so aggressive. I just saw something is not right, and then I don't like that. Quite tough for me, first year and second years, players and coaches, players is really scared. They really not enjoy on court, and then after that, before end of the second years, I try to more understanding of them first, and then now it's going well, yeah.
Saya percayakan penuh dengan program para pelatih masing-masing.
I have full confidence in the coaches' individual programs, but we also sit down and have discussions to evaluate the training. Progress shouldn't just be seen here at the center, but on the tournaments we compete in around the world as well. This should be our goal.
Jadi itu yang harus kita capai.
With everyone on board with the new vision, there is a renewed sense of purpose.
Saya berharap di ganda putri, tunggal putra dan tunggal putri supaya bisa berprestasi.
I hope the women's doubles and both singles formats will be as successful as the men's and mixed doubles. It has to be a collective effort.
Cuma dua sektor ini.
Beberapa tahun ini Tontowi Liliana terus.
For the past years, Tontowi and Liliana have been our main players. We have to be ready all the time to step up in their place.
Itu kapanpun itu.
Kita berharap ada sesuatu yang
Hopefully, what we are trying to build here will be worthwhile. If we were successful then as players, we also hope to emulate that today.
Bisa sukses lah.
Exciting times are ahead for badminton in the country. And if things go as planned, the sport may be poised for another golden age in Indonesia. It's time for some trivia. Did you know Canadian Michelle Lee is one of the most successful players in her country? She was a quarter-finalist at the 2014 All England Championships, making her the first Canadian player in 35 years to achieve that feat. In the same year, Lee also became the first Canadian women's singles gold medalist at the Commonwealth Games.
Chicken rice. Current trip. My Pandora. Dinner. Person. Tom Cruise. Angelina Jolie. Sleeping at home. Because I think he's very smart on court. Not only his abilities are good, yeah, he's able to think very well on court, and also his temper is very good on court. Yeah.
We're in China after the break as we bring you the conclusion of the Sudirman Cup.
It's the women's singles final. The Olympic champion and #1 seed, Li Shuirei, up against the teenager, the 18-year-old #4 seed, Ratchanok Intanon, the first player from Thailand to appear in a World Championship final. brilliant opening rally. Oh, that's clever smashing. It's long, she's back level, she has saved 3 game point opportunities. Wow, wow, she's taken it, would you believe it? Oh, well played. That is magnificent. There we go, there's the net play, there's the short lift, and the kill.
Long.
It is 1 game all. Oh, that's incredible. Super angle. Goodness me. Brilliant tackles. That's brilliantly taken. It's gone wide. The 18-year-old from Thailand, the youngest ever world champion, the first ever world champion from Thailand. What a moment.
The Vivo BWF Sudirman Cup 2015 came to a conclusion last week. The rapidly growing city of Dongguan was the epicenter of badminton when it hosted the World Mixed Team Championships, the 4th time China has staged the event. The Badminton World Federation had been impressed with its bold bid, which included the competition being held at a brand new 16,000-seater sporting complex. The hosts continued to wow as the tournament kicked off with a spectacular opening ceremony that included an on-stage parade and artistic performances.
With this opening ceremony of the Vivo Sudirman Cup, I mean, it was a great event, and I'm sure the badminton will be minimum as good as what the opening ceremony was today.
This year's edition of the Sudirman Cup featured 35 nations represented by 400 athletes. The competition structure meant most of the teams, who hailed from all corners of the diverse badminton world, would not be fighting it out for the trophy, but rather ranking points and valuable experience. But as for the elite nations of international badminton, they would be gunning for China's crown. The hosts are by far the most successful nation, having collected 9 titles, 6 ahead of its closest rival, Korea.
Obviously, China is the hot favorites, but as we see many new nations coming up, new nations emerging. We just had a Thomas Huber Cup not more than approximately a year ago with big surprises. So who knows? I mean, the most important thing for us in BWF is that badminton delivers excitement. We are here to deliver excitement to our fans all around the world. I'm sure the mix of all the teams here, 35 nations battling for the cup, I'm sure they'll be able to deliver a lot of excitement, a lot of great badminton, and that's what we're all here for.
2 giants of East Asian badminton, Japan and Korea, squared off in the semi-finals, while the hosts went up against the competition's inaugural winner, Indonesia. China dispatched Indonesia in the semi-finals with relative ease. Despite going down to the Southeast Asians in the men's doubles match, the strength and depth of the Chinese meant they powered through to a 3-1 win. They would face Japan, this after the heroics of scratch mixed doubles pair of Kenta Kazuno and Ayane Kurihara. The duo took the winning point against Korea as they reached the final of the Sudirman Cup for the first time.
They've done it! Absolutely extraordinary. Japan celebrates. Prior to this year, Japan had never even reached the semi-final.
to the finals, and it was the men's doubles event that opened proceedings. Fu Haifeng, who lost the point against the Indonesians with Cai Yun, was this time paired with Zhang Nan as they faced Japan's Hiroyuki Endo and Kenichi Hayakawa. The tactical switch worked a treat as the Chinese shuttlers chalked up the morale-boosting first point on the board, disposing of the Japanese world number 6 duo in 3 games, 21-17, 20-22, 21-17.
China off to a winning start in the 14th Sudirman Cup final.
The East Asians were hoping their teenage sensation Akane Yamaguchi could somehow pull off an upset in the following women's singles against China's Olympic champion Li Xuerui. But there wasn't to be any trouble for Li. Other than a tight first game, the Chinese world number 1 comfortably won her match in 2 straight games. 23-21, 21-14, the final score.
And the Olympic champion Li Xuerui delivers a second point for China in the Sudirman Cup final.
With China 2-0 up, it was up to Lin Dan to finish off the job in the men's singles against Takuma Ueda. Ueda, who had won the winning point in the Thomas Cup final last year, was surely hoping for a similar impact to keep Japan in the tie. Try as he might, it was always going to be a tall order against China's 2-time Olympic winner.
Gone wide, opening game to Lin Dan, old China.
Lin Dan coolly navigated his way through the match, winning it 21-15, 21-1, delivering a historic 10th Sudirman Cup triumph for the hosts.
China retain the Sudirman Cup.
Despite the loss, Japan proved they are once again a nation to be reckoned with, and their future looks very bright. As for China, it's their 6th consecutive win as they continue to set the standards for international badminton. Who will step up to challenge them next time? We'll find out in 2 years' time in Australia. After the break, we find out how the developing nations of badminton are getting a boost at the recently concluded Badminton Asia Championships.
All right, Oliver.
You gonna do it?
No.
No? You're not gonna try? You gonna try? Okay. Woohoo! 1, 2, 3.
Played on a yearly basis, the Badminton Asia Championships has been in existence since 1962. With Asia's current domination of the sport, it is considered one of the toughest tournaments on the international calendar. This event, held in April, was played in the city of Wuhan, China. It was the 6th time the nation had hosted the event, and they are the most successful country in the history of the tournament, having added another 2 golds this time round to their impressive haul. Away from the battles of the elite nations, there was a group of shuttlers who were quietly, but with determination, representing their nations.
I'm Mohammad Ajman Rashid. I'm from the Maldives.
Hello, I'm Soraya Aghay Hajiaka, 19 years old, from Iran.
Hi, my name is Arthur Niyazov. I'm a national team of Kazakhstan and I'm 21 years old.
We met some of these players recently at the Badminton Asia Confederation Development Camp held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The aim of the initiative was to provide the shuttlers with necessary tools to make the step up to the elite of the sport. It was hoped that the 3-week camp would help them at tournaments, such as the Badminton Asia Championships.
Some players is the first time coming for a big tournament like this. So they have to go out and they have to get used to it. So it's exposure to them. You see, the environment is entirely different in the training and the tournament. So they have to get used to it. So the more exposure you give it to them, the more confident they will be and they will become a more better player.
Even after the camp, the BAC continues to support them, helping them to prepare for events. We followed some of the players to China to find out how their experience at the camp had helped them face the challenges of playing in the biggest regional tournament.
Badminton Asia Championship actually is the flagship tournament of the Asia Confederation, and it has been the premier tournament for Asia. You know, we have 95% of the top 10 Asian players participation in this tournament, but we also feel because there's 41 member countries in our confederation, and we need to include them in our program. This is part of the program.
Whilst they may not register highly within Asia, these players are considered the best in their respective countries. Some, like Mohammad Ajfan Rashid, have even tasted Olympic experience. It's hoped that more run-outs at major tournaments will eventually give them the confidence that will develop their game.
By coming here, they can not only come for to participate in the big event, world-class event, but they can also meet their idols. It actually motivates them to actually go further, and hopefully one day, probably some of them can even join the big players in the Olympics themselves.
When I come and I see the stadium, it's very nice. I see best players in the world, and I just every time see their match, and I just thinking I must improve. I have to improve, and I must learn something from here.
Traveling to tournaments such as these cost money, and with many of these national associations lacking funds, it's usual for the players to travel without a coach. For this event, the BAC stepped in once again as they provided the coaches for the players.
When I see a person, my coach behind my supporting me, it's really a big thing, because normally I've gone to tournaments by myself, so actually I'm used to it, but it's really helpful when there's someone who is really good and he is helping me behind the court, so it really gives a good moral support for me.
Regardless of their match results, the players continued to be coached and assessed throughout the tournament. The BAC are set to produce a report on the shuttlers to find out how they coped with the event.
What we are trying to do is analyze the players' performance, and we will identify the mistakes, where the areas is less and where the area they are playing better. So we want to analyze, and we want to do a report and give it to the players and give it to the coaches, let them to do a program, which area they have to concentrate on these players and where it will help the players to improve.
For the players, their experience in China was a positive one. The time spent in Wuhan was invaluable, as it gave them the motivation to continue with their passion for the sport. For these shuttlers, it's not about what they achieve now, but more about building the foundations for the future. Let's find out what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we catch up with Canada's #1 singles player, Michelle Lee, as she tells us how she's determined to raise the profile of the sport in her country. See you next week.